Welcome to Rebecca and Rebecca.
Where we love books. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest edition of Rebecca and Rebecca, where we love books. And I'm Rebecca Reed from rural Indiana, and this is my partner in books, Rebecca Yager from Dallas, Texas. How you doing today?
Doing well, Rebecca. How about you?
Indeed, yes. It's as we're recording this, it's very snowy,
Yes,
which is not probably how it's going to be, hopefully, when this airs, but you
gotcha.
never know, right? Especially here.
Hopefully in March we'll start getting spring, but same here in Dallas, believe it or not, we are cold and snowy. Um,
Yes.
but all
So,
is well. So
well, anyway, today we are reviewing Mandy Boerma's book, Royal Runaways Holiday. And we're excited about this one, even though it's kind of a Christmassy book. So we're sort of revisiting, which is perfect for the snow right now, right?
yeah.
So we're revisiting Christmas. So if you're a Christmas person or a holiday person, here is a book that can extend your holiday. Um,
There you go.
so into March, which is awesome. Actually, my as we're recording this, my Christmas tree is still up. So there's
Oh,
that. Yeah. But
okay.
anyway, that's just an aside. So uh,
Hopefully it'll
let's
be
see.
down by March. I mean,
Yes, I'm hoping as well. Maybe
okay.
the Christmas tree fairy taker downer person will come around and do that for me.
The Christmas tree fairy taker down her person.
Yeah, everybody has one of those, right?
Sure, that's it. See, you and I must be just opposite because it's almost the second Christmas is over, a day or two after my tree's down.
Hmm.
Once in a while, I make it to New Year's, and I don't know why I've gotten into this habit about leaving Christmas trees up. But anyway,
Eh,
I don't. They come down. So
okay.
anyway, okay.
Actually, mine normally do too, but this one, I don't know. I liked the lights. I was riding by the lights.
Oh, well, that may, no, I do like the light. Well, this
Yeah.
year, my husband and I just moved right before the holidays. And
Yeah.
so our Christmas tree, we did put one up, but all we did was did lights and we didn't do any of our normal decorations on there. And I really liked the lights. So I'm with you on that.
So did
So,
I. I
yeah.
didn't decorate either, hardly. I put like
Ooh,
six ornaments on there and I looked at it and I'm like, why am I doing this? I like it without them. I did put tinsel. I took tinsel and lights. That's it. That's all
oh,
that was on my tree.
well, no,
And like I said, six ornaments or something.
no,
I
ours was
liked it. I
just
might continue
lights.
that. I don't know. We'll see. Hey,
We'll
but we
see. Yeah,
probably
ours
should
was
read the
lights.
back cover blurb for
Okay.
Royal Runaways Holiday rather than talk about our
Our own
weird Christmas
Christmas stuff.
traditions or
All right. This
whatever.
is
Yeah.
The Royal Runaways Holiday by Mandy Boerma. She's been trained to put her royal duty first, but what happens when it will cost her the dream she's always harbored? Evelina Rosalind Marie Bexley, Princess of Navive, is ready to step into her role as queen. The pageantry, the protocols, and most certainly the pretense. It's a lot of P's today. She's prepared for it her whole life until Parliament uncovers an ancient law saying she must marry before her birthday next month. In an unprecedented move, she seeks refuge at the local Christmas bazaar. She's certain her disguise will give her the freedom she craves before she must face her obligations. No one will ever know after all. After all, no one, including God, sees the real Eva. He's worked for years to prove himself in a country that isn't his. Reporter Gordon Tarpon may have found the story of a lifetime when he recognizes his childhood friend Eva at the Christmas bazaar. Despite her heavy disguise, he'd know that laugh, that smile, those eyes anywhere. And he most certainly recognizes the same way the princess captivates those around her. Is he willing to sacrifice her trust for his own personal gain? For one unforgettable day, they share adventure, laughter, and the spark of something more. But when the truth shatters their fragile fairy tale, can love and God's grace rewrite the rules? Or will the crown demand the ultimate sacrifice, her heart? And again, that's The Royal Runaways Holiday by Mandy Boerma. All right, we like this book. We'll start off that. We liked it.
I mean, to be fair, we're not going to review a book we don't like
It's
because we're
true.
not like that.
That's true.
But we did really like this book. I mean, it has a lot of the things that you want to see in a holiday book. It has really well done characters, which and lots of really cool side characters, which of course, if you've been watching us at all, you would know that's one of our favorite things. Um, it also has just kind of a it has that lots of little classic feels to it. There's the nod to Roman Holiday, which
Yes.
was the movie. I is It's not a book, right? It's just a movie.
I don't know if it was based on a book, but classic Audrey Hepburn. That's all you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Classic
Anyway,
Audrey
it has
Hepburn.
that nod right to that, which is interesting because we're going to be doing another book that's got a nod to that later this year,
Mhm.
just so you know, if that's something you like. But it also has that fairy tale, Christmassy, magical feel to it. It also, if you've been to Europe and you've ever been to a market, it has that Christmas. It has the Christmas bazaar, which
Mhm.
is amazing,
Mhm.
and it has kind of some little bit of mystery to it as well. And there's some little bit of suspense-ish kind of thing in there. I mean,
Mhm.
it's very light thread, but there's some times where you're just like, why is that person here and what's going to happen with them? Uh, a little bit, you know. So lots of good stuff. Um, what was your favorite part that you can talk about? Let's put it that way.
No spoilers at all here. On this, I did like the Christmas bazaar. I liked the marketplace, the feel of it. It was very European. I could picture it. I'm, I want to go. Well, I lived in Germany as a little girl, so I'm just picturing these big markets like that. Character wise, we love the main characters, but side characters, I also love the king, and so I think we'll talk more about the king, I'm sure, as we go along here, but I did like him, and he was such a great support and kind of funny. He had this
Hmm.
humorous twinkle in his eye. I mean, you can picture him with a twinkle in his eye, um, not just a serious king. So,
True.
and what about
And
you?
I I think I also liked the Christmas Bazaar. I thought Mandy did a great job of bringing that to life, and it almost had a life of its own. There were
Mhm.
characters kind of embedded within the bazaar that gave it a lot of depth. Um, I liked the uncle, Gordon's uncle, Orlin, who is the baker, chef.
Chef?
I
Yeah.
guess the title is chef, right? He was the
Mhm.
royal chef. So he
Mhm.
worked in the castle. Um, and so he was also like the king, a very warm character, a very uh, kind of a truth teller type of character as well.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, that's the
And
reason Gordon has the relationship with Eva, being childhood friends, because his uncle has worked in the palace and knows that. So the connection's been there. Um,
right. Yes, because they did grow up together. So this is kind of I don't know what you would call it. They were not an item prior. So it's not really like a second chance romance in that aspect. It's almost more like I don't know what you call this
I
genre or
hate to say
this
friends to
trope.
lovers, but friends, they were childhood best friends,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, friends to more for sure.
friends to more. There you go.
And Ziva's here.
Hello,
She's
Ziva. I
yes.
saw you get up back there.
Yeah. She's
So,
um
there she is.
so yeah. And he's always admired her. More, I think he
You
even
think he's
fell
had
in
a
love with
crush on
her.
her for a long
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. I
Okay.
would say so. Um And that is kind of one of the complications in this story, right? Is that she's royal, he's not. he's not even a citizen, and
He's
that's
not
a
even a
huge
citizen.
problem.
Yeah, yeah. He's fighting for his
Um,
citizenship, but he's not
yeah.
a citizen. Um,
So there's feelings of inadequacy from both of them in a way. I mean, she is almost feels inadequate as a person more than a royal. I think she feels completely adequate as a royal.
yeah, she's very devoted to being the princess or being the future queen. She's
Hmm.
into her job. She knows what it's all about. She's very serious about it. But you're right. It's almost like, you know, how is she as Eva? She's good as, Princess Evelina or Queen Eva,
Queen to
Evelina, but
be, yeah.
has she forgotten to be Eva?
And I think that she doesn't feel like anyone sees her, which is a
Mm,
huge thing. She is the princess. She is the daughter of the king. She is the royal. You
mhm,
know, all of those titles, she's got that part down. But like you said, as Eva by herself,
mhm,
does anyone even, does she even know who she is? Does anyone even know who she is? Like, she's
mhm,
devoted herself to all these duties and learning all this protocol,
mhm, mhm,
but does anybody ever, does anybody know who she really is? And then when Parliament comes up with this law
oh,
that she has to marry in a month, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous, first of all. But then she really feels like no one cares about her because she thought at least all the things she's devoted herself to, that Parliament would take that into account
mhm.
as far as, you know, that she was qualified. Because she feels qualified. And then that's the thing they're throwing at her. It's like, well, you can't be queen unless you have a king. Okay. So that really throws her for a loop.
It does. And very, it's an ancient law that they're resurrecting, and there is kind of a reason behind it, but we can't, yeah, no spoilers. There's somewhat of a reason, and it's just, but it's frustrating. You can feel the frustration. You feel her frustration. You can even feel the king's frustration as they're trying to fight it and trying to find
Hmm.
the loophole with this law, which is, one of the reasons she escapes for the day and goes into the disguise and goes to the market, to the bazaar there. We were talking about places we liked, and I think you mentioned off camera. We can't talk too much about the chapel, but you like the chapel and the bell.
I do. I really like the chapel. Um, Well, for one, it felt like an old chapel. I mean, I could see it in my head, you know, I've
Mhm,
been to Europe a few times and just, you know, the chapels that are there that are older. This, she did a great job again of like really making this a three-dimensional building, and it has
mhm,
history, has a lot of royal history in it that I think really makes the story
mhm,
um, feel, since it is a made-up country, you know, I mean, it doesn't have its own history unless you give it history. And so
mhm,
she does that. And it's kind of, she uses the chapel as a way to do that. And it really does help come alive. And I really like the caretaker of the chapel. He just has a really supernatural feel to him. And I like that, of course, being a fantasy fan and
mhm.
liking all of those types of things. What
Well,
are
he
you
brings a
doing, Ziva?
touch of, I know, she's usually, hi, she's usually never over there. Um,
I think she thinks I have food over there. That's what
Oh,
she's going
okay. Well,
for.
Ziva, you just want to
Anyway.
join us. He brings it anyway. The caretaker brings a little touch of Christmas magic without making it unbelievable.
Hmm.
It just the little, I want to say whimsy, but just a little fantasy magic. I don't know, in a good way because it's the holidays. And you're right about the history that she really does provide the history, especially with the chapel.
Hmm.
Um, that's well done. You do feel like I feel like this is a real country. It plops right in the middle of
Hmm.
Europe as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it fits
Mhm,
very well. She did
mhm,
a great job of doing that, and everything that I think all of the Gordon's like fight to become a citizen is very realistic as well. And it's kind of timely. I mean, there's a lot of immigration stuff
mhm.
going on right now, and how hard it is to become a full-fledged citizen of not just the United States, but other countries as
Any
well. It can be
country.
very
Yeah.
difficult. And he's experiencing a lot of difficulties, which is frustrating him. because he wants to prove he's worthy. That's his thing. He wants to be worthy. He wants to be good enough.
Hmm.
He wants to be the best at his job in some aspects, but that's he's kind of reaching for that too. So there's a lot of striving in Gordon and a lot
Yeah.
of kind of angst because he's just never, even when he achieves things, I think he always keeps raising the bar for himself, and so it's really hard to be content when you do that. And
Hmm.
it's a common thing. People do it all the time. It's like, well, I did that, now let's do this. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But he lets it get in the way of other things.
Hmm.
So,
He does. It's almost like he doesn't believe in himself
hmm
completely. Yet when he's with Eva and their day at the bazaar, he's well, a grounding presence in her life when she's all royal. And he's kind of her view of the real world,
hmm
outside of the royal family. So, and he's very likable. He's a good guy, and you almost want to smack him in the best way, saying you are good enough. But don't we all
Yeah.
have that issue from time to time, even as Christians and as children of God, when we know, you know, God has made us and knows who we are.
hmm
We can still struggle with our identity and are we
And
good
you can
enough?
tell these characters are, I mean, they're like, what, 20 in their 20s.
Hmm.
But in some ways, they've grown up in a bit of isolation because of the royal thing, I feel like.
Hmm.
And you can tell they're immature in certain ways because they, well, they have that. You get that through the fact that they want to do their own thing and they don't want to listen to the authority figures in their life. They want to be like, nope, I know what you're saying, but I'm doing it this way.
Yeah.
And you just keep thinking, you want to sigh because, like,
Oh.
okay,
Well, they do. They have
those of
good,
us,
wise voices around them that they tend to ignore, especially Gordon. Eva at least pretends to listen and she's trying to do right. But she's torn between duty and, the duty of what she's been raised to do between trying to find who she is.
and
Um,
she gives up on herself being herself at some point.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
she
Interesting.
just is given over to, oh fine, I'm going to be the royal because that's who everybody sees anyways, so I'm just going to be that person and I'm just going to give up on being my own person. And I think that at the point where, because her father even says to her, we're not done fighting this law, we're and she just is kind of like, nope, nope, it's not going to work out, I'm just gonna, like, and
She lets duty take over.
yeah, she really does. And she tries to force it. And I know everybody, I mean, I know I can't speak for everyone, but I'm very guilty of, like, well, I don't see how that way is going to work out. So I'm just going to force my way through this direction. And even though that may not be the right way,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to, yeah, back to the king, because that to me,
Talk to me about the king, who I
I
like.
the king to me represents God in this story. I see him
Hmm.
as kind of, maybe not the whole time, especially maybe not quite as much at the beginning, but toward the end of the book, he becomes almost like
Hmm.
a picture of God on earth, in my opinion. Like, he kind of, he doesn't choose for anyone, but he definitely sets up circumstances to where people could choose the right way or the way that they should be going. Um, so
I
yeah,
have to
that's what I
absorb
saw.
that a little bit.
Yeah.
But that is interesting, and that's I can totally see that. He's wise, he's kind. He won't like get in his daughter's face and tell her you must do this, you must do that. Um,
Mhm.
um, I don't know. But he's a bit mischievous at times too,
Hey,
though.
I think
He's,
God can be that way. It's like sometimes
okay,
you're like, what were
okay.
you thinking? What were you thinking there?
Well,
Um,
I do believe God chuckles at us a lot down here.
uh-huh.
You know, interesting. That's an interesting perspective about the king. Huh.
That's what I saw. Now,
Okay.
I don't know if she had that in mind. I really don't know, but that I did see it. I did see that. And so it'd be interesting for those of you who read the book,
Hmm.
do you see that? Or am I just, I don't know,
Tell
reading
us.
into it?
Yeah. So give us your opinion about the king and maybe what he represents,
Hmm.
or any of them. But you can do that with um, Gordon's uncle, Gordon's employer. We haven't. There's a character we can't talk about too much because of giveaway spoilers, and that's Lizzie. But
Hmm.
Lizzie's interesting. Your perspective on her shifts throughout the book, but you're never quite sure. And that's kind of
Hmm.
fascinating to like who is this person and why does she keep showing up?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that she was kind of a she just kept coming back and you're never quite sure like where is this gonna go? Where is this leading? Um, yeah, it was
Touch
interesting
touch
how
of
that worked.
mystery.
Hmm.
Now getting to Eva, she does have a best friend who's grounds her a little bit, who's um,
Yeah, that's an interesting that was interesting, I thought, because I never thought about um like a double so much, but that's what Kendra is.
Kendra's a double, yeah.
She's her body double, they call it. She doesn't really look that much like her, but she's built like her. So they use, wigs and all that stuff to make her
They can
appear
dress her up,
like,
and if you're expecting to see Princess Eva, you're thinking you're seeing Princess Eva. I mean, it's pretty,
hmm
you know,
yeah.
simple.
And so it makes me wonder how many people actually have those now. Now that I've read
Ooh,
this, like how many
ooh,
famous people have a double that they employ to do things for them? Hmm. I
that
don't know.
provide, cast. Well, you can do that. You can misdirect. They think they're seeing whomever here, and meanwhile, the real person's escaping over here. Ah,
I don't know. I don't know if
oh,
that's a thing.
all right. Everyone, watch closely. Do you think famous people have doubles? That's another question for
Yeah.
you for the day.
Hmm.
And so, but the fact that she and Kendra are such good friends, um,
Yeah.
but to me, there's more to Kendra's story too. Here, there's something about her. I hope she gets a book,
I do
actually.
too. I liked Kendra and I felt like she kind of got shortchanged a bit just because she isn't the main character and she shouldn't be. But yeah, I would also love to see more from Kendra and what her future holds. That would
Yeah,
be
well,
interesting.
we'll have to ask Mandy about Kendra and
Hmm.
because I do believe there are more books coming in this series, at least one more, probably
Yes,
two, I think.
I
Um,
think so.
gosh, we got, all right, writing this down so we can ask Mandy on this. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, it's a sweet book. It's kind of it's clean, it's safe, it's fun. It's not overly romantic, in a sense.
No, I mean
Of,
there is romance.
but boy meets girl, boy falls in love, whatever, they fall in love. It's not
Yeah.
quite that way because they've been such good friends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
it's
they're
more of a reconciliation of feelings that they both kind of held, but neither one really like is sure the other one reciprocates. And so they both kind of operate on the assumption that they're the only one that likes the other one. And so you've got that, yeah, there's that doubt of, and they don't want to put themselves out there for different reasons.
hmm hmm
And it's very realistically done in that regard. I feel like although at one point it was like you were saying, I just wanted to smack Gordon and say, just tell her how you feel already. And the
just
same with
do it.
Eva, just tell him how you feel already. Because they were a little, they dragged it out maybe a little longer than what was
A
absolutely
smidge.
necessary.
Yeah, a
Even in a
smidge.
story, right?
Yeah,
I could have handled a little sooner. The wedding part kind of got a little drawn out.
yeah.
The preparations for
The
the
preps for
wedding
it.
and things.
Things could
We're
have been
not telling you
resolved
who's
quicker.
marrying whom or any of that because there's a whole thing about that.
Right. No,
But there
not
is a
doing that.
wedding. I will tell you that.
But
But
it did get dragged out. The preparations for it got dragged out. That could have tightened up a little bit. I think that's probably my only
yeah,
somewhat
that's
criticism of the
really,
book. It
hmm
dragged a little bit towards it when you're like, okay, come on,
yeah,
talk
yeah.
to each other, But it didn't destroy my enjoyment of the book in any
No, I
way.
just wanted to go like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I had to
You're
turn up
anxious
my,
for them
if I
to.
had had this on audio, I would have turned up the speed. I didn't, it's not on audio, so I had to read it, but I was skimming some things just because I'm like, come on, come on.
That's true. Yeah. So speed it up, but
But
cute.
in the middle of all that is the chapel, and you don't want to miss that part. So
So
there's
you can't
that.
skim too much because the
No,
chapel is, yeah.
yeah,
I do like the chapel. It just seems very picturesque. Didn't you just this whole? I want this to be a real country because I want to go
I
visit.
know.
Very
Yeah,
picturesque. It seems like, and
yes.
just sounds beautiful and European. But
Hmm.
um, anyway, I like her single day adventure that turns into so much more because it is an adventure. Um,
Hmm.
and that and you do want Gordon to, believe in himself. I mean, he's a good guy. Believe in yourself.
Yes.
And yeah, you want her to find herself too. So yeah, finding identity, finding who your true self
Hmm.
is and believing in that person.
And there's a lot of people pushing them to be something they're maybe
Mm,
not to. There's a lot
hmm.
of outside forces kind of like trying to push them into a slot that they really don't want to fit into.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, a lot of pressures, external pressures that are causing issues. Gordon has a lot, I mean, there's a lot of really natural conflict in this story
yeah.
that really does push it through very nicely. So,
Hmm, hmm,
yeah, Mandy did a great job of
hmm.
that. I can't complain at all about
No,
that.
no, it wasn't forced conflict. It wasn't, oh, they threw that in just to, no. There is a natural feel to how things
Hmm.
progress in the story and the tension that happens. So,
Yep,
um, I just wanted it to be wrapped up.
I
You
know.
know?
Yeah, but it
Mhm.
is eventually, and it was good. So it
Yeah,
was good.
no, cute
Yeah.
story. So if you need your dose of Christmas in March, instead of Christmas in June, don't wait till July. Get your Christmas in
No, that's
March.
too long.
And
Although, I mean, I
it's
guess you could, but you don't have to.
you're good. It's the Royals' Runaway Holiday. Um, the Runaway Royals. No, Royal Runaways
Royal
Holiday. I
Runaways
said it right.
Holiday. Yeah, there's an apostrophe S in there somewhere, but yeah, Royal Runaways Holiday. That's what it is. So very nice. Yeah, very good story. Cute cover. If you want to purchase it, it'll look good on your shelf. And if you're I think it's in KU, so you can read it for free if you're a
Yeah,
KU person.
yeah.
And yeah, it's really cute. And like I said, there's more books coming, but it doesn't end on a cliffhanger of any sort, so
Oh
there's
gosh,
no
no. No.
problem there. So,
Thank goodness. It's just, that's what I like. There are characters in the book that you're going, oh, I hope they get a story because you like them. But there's no cliffhanger. The story wraps up nicely.
mhm.
And we'll ask Mandy all kinds of questions next time. We're going to talk to her in a couple of weeks.
Yes, we are.
And I'm looking forward to that.
And
Mm,
in we so this will after this we have a book bite with Elizabeth Goddard, so you can be looking for that.
yes.
Um,
And if you missed last week's book bite with Colleen Coble and Rick Acker, make sure you go back and check that out. They have a new book coming out when Justice Comes. And then, yeah, Elizabeth is coming up, and we're going to revisit. Well, she's an old friend, and we'll revisit
mhm.
um, several old friends coming up
Deadly
in book
Currents, I
bites.
believe, is the book we're going to talk about
Deadly
with her.
Currents. Hmm.
Yes. And so lots of things coming up. Keep your Subscribe to whatever podcast venue that you prefer. I don't know if venue is the right word, but whatever, how hosting, whatever they're called. Or YouTube, of course, there's always YouTube. And if you need those links to find out where we are, you can find those on RebeccaandRebecca.com.
Yep, very good. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please give us your opinion on the king and on the story. We want to have a conversation with you. So, like, subscribe, email us, comment on any of our social media, and let's keep the conversation going. But meanwhile, join us in a couple of weeks when we talk to Mandy and take a listen to our book bites in between as we talk to even more authors and give you more books that you must read. Anyway, yeah. All
Just so
right.
pushy.
No, sorry. All right.
Just kidding. No, they are the books are really good. So,
Yeah,
and there's so many
exciting.
genres, that's why we try to mix it up. So you can find something that you do like. Hopefully try something, maybe try a little something different, That's fine. But yeah, we're looking forward to sharing time with you again. Every Wednesday, we'll bring something new to you. So, until then, we will see you.
Take care,
Bye-bye.
everyone.